Mario, we've got a major problem back at, wait, you're not Mario. Whoever you are, Mr. Turkey, we could use as much help as possible back home. Thank you very much. Mr. Turkey? Are you still there? Hello? Yikes. Hello, you beautiful people, and welcome back to Glitch Vault. I'm your delicious Kentucky Fried host, Space Chicken, and today we're taking a look at the OG portable Smash experience. That is, of course, Super Smash Bros. For Nintendo 3DS. This is, in fact, the first 3DS game that I'm tackling, and it's almost as if I'm returning to form. But this one was a ton of fun to work with, as you'll see, and you're in for a good one, so let's get started. For this first glitch, make your way to training mode and choose Kirby. Now, normally when you inhale your opponents and spit them out, they shoot a moderate distance forward and regain control. So try this out. Kick the damage up to 999%. Now inhale your opponent, set the damage to 0% while they're still in Kirby's mouth, and then spit them out. Now they shoot out much farther than previously, and I have no idea why. Now, if you do this in reverse and start off at 0% and go to 999% and exhale, then the character goes in the complete opposite direction of where you're facing. I have no idea what would cause the game to flat out reverse the direction of the expulsion, but the damage swapping just makes some variable somewhere freak out a bit, but that's some pretty crazy stuff if you ask me. Doing the normal version of this trick with some characters will even get them shot into the blast zone, which is pretty cool to see. I thought up a decent Game & Watch joke here, but it was a mouthful. And I couldn't stomach it. Yep, deserved. Pikachu's Quick Attack is a recovery move that can cover a lot of ground. If you want to cover a decent amount of sky, however, execute it and direct Pikachu into a poison mushroom and see what happens. Pikachu just straight up launches into the stratosphere and he stays up there for quite some time. Not only that, but at some point he does some extremely strange animation that I can only guess is supposed to signify the second segment of the move. Not sure what's going on there, but Pikachu eventually makes it back to the stage. No idea how he escaped the blast zone up there, but hey, Pikachu has escaped far worse.
Meow, that's right!
In training mode, choose a Mii Sword Fighter and go into the Spirit Tracks level. Spawn a Smash Ball, grab it, jump to the left, execute it, and land on the tracks. You'll notice that you aren't being affected by the ground or taking damage at all. You're able to just stand there and mind your own business. Now, when you set the CPU to attack you, as I suspected, it doesn't even know what to do. So let's talk about why. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the world of pathfinding. Consider this, when you want to go somewhere, you need to know where the destination is before you can decide how you want to get there. A computer can do this by calculating many different options in a short amount of time and determining the shortest distance to the destination, as seen in this example from Wikipedia's own article on pathfinding. So with all of that said, what's the big deal with poor Bowser here?
Oh, you stink!
Now, in this example from Wikipedia, this gray barrier represents an inaccessible area. Now, what I believe is happening here is that the CPU sees me as standing on inaccessible ground, making it have no idea where to even begin to close the gap. Now, this is just one of those game-breaking things that I adore that inspire me to dig a little deeper. All of that said, I could always be wrong on something like this, which is why having a community is so great, because somebody somewhere is bound to know something. If that somebody is you, feel free to comment below, and if that somebody is not you, then
feel free to keep your opinion to yourself.
Here's a neat little out-of-bounds trick that requires Little Mac on this little Super Mario Bros. Level. In order for this trick to work, you need to transform into Little Mac's final Smash form towards the very end of the level cycle, which makes testing this trick ad nauseum, well, nauseating. Once you're Big Mac, head over to this opening in the blocks, initiate your final smash, and start dashing left and right. With enough attempts and enough luck, you'll fall straight through the stage and ultimately to your demise. Honestly, you can kind of just go crazy here. There's not a lot of method to the madness, let's just put it that way. There is, however, a lot of madness, as Bowser knows well, because you can accomplish something very similar with him. Head to the exact same spot as Bowsy Boy, but instead of needing a final smash, all you need to do is toss out a side B. Now this one is far more brutal than the Big Mac clip because this time you take your opponent with you. That's right, pull this one off correctly and you will both slip delicately into the Shadow Realm.
I knew you would, Yugi boy.
And if you thought the jank of Bowser's Flying Slam was confined to this one trick, you'd be absolutely wrong. Not even close, actually. Here's a really fun one that you can do, well, anywhere. All that is required is Bowser, a willing volunteer, and a Super Leaf. Now, once you're ready to party like it's 1988, jump up into the air, float down, and just before you hit the ground, use Bowser's side B attack. Again. Done correctly, and Bowser falls at a bafflingly low velocity. And yes, that is a word. But it takes forever for Bowser and his opponent to come back to the ground, commencing a living nightmare that I don't think anybody could come back from. Falling slowly, eyes that know me. First of all, as you may have noticed, I did not need to use any slow motion on that clip. Bowser did all of the work for me, so thank you, Bowser. Second of all, it really does take forever. How long does it take, you ask? While Bowser was in the air, I uploaded 2 videos. That's how long. But seriously, this hang time, from the top of the fall to the bottom, took a little over 18 seconds. 18 seconds! That's almost a third of a minute, and that's just this example. So if you really, really want to annoy your friends and you have this game, then please, don't let me stop you. In fact, you can go ahead and tell them that good old Space Chicken sent you. I'm sure they'd really appreciate it. And no, we're still not done. He will not stop until you understand the flying part of Flying Slam, which takes us to Magic Hand. This magical, memorable realm where anything is possible, except Bowser's moveset working properly. So here, you're gonna need to wait until the Skyrunner appears. And boy, you will be waiting. Honestly, if the Skyrunner were any slower, it would be a Skywalker. Yeah, I know. Low-hanging fruit. But once it does show up, you're gonna wanna stand to the right of it, command grab your enemy, and land on the left side of the top. Done correctly and, yeah, nothing correct about that. Look, you could already make the case that Bowser would do pretty well as a Pokemon. But now that he has successfully learned the Pokemon move Double Team, things are looking a little sus around here. All I'm saying, don't let him follow you into Medbay. Now, in case you were wondering, yes, eventually Bowser and his prey do make it down. It does require the Skyrunner to ascend, but I have to admit, once it does happen, it actually looks pretty cool. Provided your opponent doesn't rage quit at some point during the 17 seconds that this one takes. I mean, at least it's not 18 seconds. In this crazy world of ours, sometimes it is helpful to just be thankful for the small things. Just saying. Well, I sure hope you enjoyed this little medley of Bowser cruelly and unceremoniously deleting his opponents. Because I know I did. And if this gaudy and indulgent display of showmanship isn't Glitch Vault, I don't know what is. And if you could believe it, we are still not done with Bowser's involvement in this video. In fact, this one's the easiest to perform out of all of them. Basically, the only requirement is for Bowser to pick up something heavy. So as Bowser, go anywhere and spawn a crate or a barrel or anything that requires both of Bowser's arms to hold. And wouldn't you know it, Bowser now has 2 sets of claws. Why? Bowser looks so proud about it too. He's like, hey, Falco, you watching? Hey, Falco, check this out. Ready? Boom! 2 sets of hands. You see him? You see the hands? Falco, are you even paying attention? Despite this happening with almost no provocation, Bowser actually keeps his extra set of claws after ditching the held item. So even though it looks like Bowser's wearing hand extensions, this little glitch is worth more than the effort it takes. In fact, I think this flies in as the easiest glitch I've ever done on the channel, and that's saying something. But enough about useless heavy-handed nonsense. Here's a trick that, for me, is the most fun out of all of these, or at the very least, the most useful. Allow me to explain. For this one, you'll need Peach, and really any stage will work, but the more platforms, the better. So when Peach pulls a turnip, it takes a little bit of time, about 1 second. However, in this game, if you pull a turnip at the same time you're running off a ledge, it comes out instantly. And it is so fun. I mean, just look at the cute little combos you can do. And I'm the first to admit that I'm not very good at this game. But upon discovering this one, I just had so much fun with it, and it really makes me wish it was in other entries as well. But I do understand that Peach doesn't need any more help, so I will take one for the team.
We can do anything when we have teamwork.
As we start winding down this episode, I know. Head over to Corneria with Ness. You might need to hang out a bit, but once an air wing shows up, hop on and toss out a down B. Now, if that air wing shoots out a laser, for some reason, that laser returns off screen to hit your opponent. Like, what? I have no idea why this happens. I am completely lost on this one. But that does not stop it from being really cool and really interesting. So give this one a shot. It's tougher than it looks, but this is not the only trick up Corneria's sleeve. There are fun little clips you can do as well. As Pikachu, if you zip correctly into this corner on top of the ship, you can fall right through and come back on either side. This one's tougher than it looks as well, but it's really fun and I actually got pretty decent at it by the time I finished recording the footage, so definitely worth a shot. Likewise, as Rosalina, if you go to the lower section of the stage, you can basically just jump right through back up above. Yeah, if you start your second jump kind of halfway up this plane, you can get it really consistently, and this would be kind of fun as a sneak attack from below. But these little instances of clipping and going out of bounds really represent my favorite part of breaking these games. Partly because it's really common, and exploring the game in a way it really shouldn't be just never really seems to lose its charm. Which finally brings us to Mute City with Rosalina again. But this time, instead of any crazy jumping, you're just going to hold B and float delicately to the ground beneath. And not dissimilar to the Mii Sword Fighter glitch from earlier, you are resting safely on the ground. But unlike Bowser, Kirby is at least pretending to try to get to you. But this time, Rosalina's safety is more or less short-lived, because as the stage progresses, Rosalina eventually slides all the way to the boundary on the side of the road, which is really interesting when you think about it, because the ground isn't really supposed to serve any purpose other than hurting you and looking cool while doing it. And here it is, corralling Rosalina like she's some sort of bowling ball. Well, at least until it extends past the blast zone. But this one's awesome, and visually, it's my favorite of the bunch. And that's usually how I end these things. So thank you all so much for watching. So much has happened since my last glitch fault. I mean, I developed a new skill set, I started a new career with that skill set, and most importantly, I have a beautiful baby girl now. So once again, I just appreciate you all watching and coming back after all this time, and I really hope you enjoyed this season finale of sorts. So, I love you all, and you're still beautiful, and I will catch you next time on Glitch Vault.